It's Ash from Super Videos, back for another video for The Walking Dead Season 8. In this video, we're going to be talking about the saviors and which savior will die first, or will die in general in Season 8. Now, this video contains some comic spoilers, so if you're not a comic reader, or if you're not caught up with The Walking Dead's comic book series until after All Out War Part 2, then I suggest you not watch this video because it may spoil some things for you. So that being said, let's get right into this. So as comic readers know, the main difference with Negan and the Saviors is basically what happens at the end of All Out War. And the fact that in the comic book, Negan doesn't die. You know, Rick obviously puts him in a jail cell, but he doesn't kill him. So the question becomes whether or not they're actually going to go that route in the TV show and have Rick not kill Negan at the end and just throw him in jail. And if they do that, what they're going to do with the other saviors and how they're kind of going to remix the story in a way. Because there needs to be some sort of main savior that dies at the end, because otherwise the storyline wouldn't really feel right in a way. In the comic book it worked, but I'm afraid it won't necessarily work in the TV show. So if they go the route where Negan doesn't die, then they kind of need to replace him with someone else, another main savior to die, so that there's this sort of closure for the characters at the end of the war. Now, leaving Negan out, so if Negan survives, who is the main savior that could die? Obviously, Dwight can't die because, as comic readers also know, Dwight already has this sort of storyline that involves him working with Rick and the others during the war and helping them win in the war. We've already seen the start of that in the TV show, so it seems like they're actually sticking with that and not changing it. So that means that we have to also leave Dwight out. So if we leave them out, then the other main savior that remains is Simon. So as you already know, Simon doesn't exist in the comic book. So Negan doesn't necessarily have a right-hand man in the comic book, but he does in the TV show. And in my opinion, the main reason they did that is to kill Simon during the war or at the end of the war so that the storyline kind of ends. Now there's obviously other saviors like Arat, like Lara, like some of the others that they can kill off, but I don't think that they're big enough saviors to kind of die and have the role of a main savior that dies during or at the end of the war. So because of that, I'm a strong believer that Simon was put in the story as Negan's right-hand man in the TV show so that they could kill him at the end of the war so that there's this sort of end to the story. But I want to know your opinions about this. What do you think about the saviors? What do you think about Negan? What do you think about Simon? Do you think that they're actually going to follow the comic book and not kill Negan at the end of the war? And if they do that, do you think that it's necessary to have another main savior like Simon to kill so that there's this sort of closure for the characters at the end of the war? That's it for this video. See you next time for another super video.